lethal on this map. Last we saw SEN against MIBR in Americas in that upper final, but just pivoted back to the Rays, which is, I mean, a vintage second agent as well.
Absolutely. No early rebel fight here for SEN. Very passively here on the A side of the map with a drift over the stairs by Narrate. Zelsis is about to get busy, but Bang already emerges. He holds it down, peeking over towards the push to tree.
Cover going out.
Lysol might make a pivot here towards the B side where Zekken will be waiting, paint shells in hand. Early encounter at C as well. Wolves testing every avenue.
They are so spread out at the moment, but Lysor is just solo walked into B and is going to get the spike down. All right, cool. Spring with that Sheriff, getting some damage done through the dark cover, spamming away. Triple players stack up from SEN, trying to get through Baby.
He's alone. Lysor is still alone right now.
All the timing.
Not able to get away from that. C is going to be thrown in. Lysor at 2, finds at least 1. Narrate, a tap on the spike here. Door opening up. Prowler to herald the arrival of Wolves as they try and stop this retake, but SEN hard hitting, leaves Spring out of the open and out of luck.
That's Wolves down a player early on account of Bang, but then just being very disconnected as Lysor knows he can get a free plant, but no one's really in position to take any further positioning.
Spring threw up a Viper wall that allowed the 3 SEN players to get into Baby Door for a 3v1 against Lysor to start that retake.
Yeah, unfortunately, just due to where all the players were and the importance of taking further space towards defenders spawn after getting the spike down on B and C especially, they're just not able to do that because all of the Wolves players are spread across the map. They can only get back to B main and spam, and they're at a disadvantage. They're just never going to win that. Wolves are going for the force right now. Juicy has the Bucky.
Maybe looking for more of a close quarters context.
And he's going to make it close quarters with a double satchel.
Yep, here we go. Juicy coming on in. Narrate has to hear this. Oh, Juicy! Well, has his wings clipped as he tries to cross that B side. Oh, big mound control. Bang pushing up. Has to be aware that B main is where Wolves are currently milling about.
Wolves there displaying for us why the Vice is just so effective on this map. They're going to need to be able to proc that wall so Juicy doesn't end up in situations like that. We know he's going to be double satcheling in deep, but if the rest of the team are cut off by the shear, he's going to get cooked every single time like we just saw.
Eyes towards Baby Door now for Wolves. Narrate. About to have some visitors. It's a 1-for-1. Spike recovered, of course. Tufat now needs to make a decision. They've got that stairs control on A, but he's still fancy B for a moment, and there it just took too long. Zelsis caught a timing on Spring, and now Tufat's got no choice but to go towards the B side where Zekken will be lying in wait.
30 seconds left.
Again, unfortunately for Wolves, the players are just so separated from each other
Bam.
on individual missions, and this, what looked like attempt to be the Stinger rush onto the B site was ultimately just denied by the Sentinel utility, and from there things have slowly collapsed.
10 seconds
While you left alone, surely going to be going down to Zekken here. Closing out the round in pretty clean fashion for SEN against the buy. So opportunity to get to 3 here now against Wolves early. Get a nice little lead on their own map pick. I like what Kaplan said. It was interesting to hear from him just on that map, the difference in play from the regions. We're not scrimming against teams like this. It was hard to get our own game plan online because we're just not used to what Wolves are doing.
Because Wolves made that force in round number 2, they've really got so little to work with. And this for SEN is an opportunity to build a massive economy on his defense side.
Of course, that Outlaw's still going to be getting value for Zekken as he pushes up and gets space on rubble with the rest of the team. Wolves are triple-faced on B, hoping that someone from Sentinels will decide to go for a peek. That's not going to be the case right now. Taking it slow, hoping to collect some orbs. I mean, back in the meta of Lotus, when these comps pretty much ran for an entire year, the game was really ult orb dependent. Getting those showstoppers was of the utmost importance.
Wolves get the sheer wall. Maybe about 6 to 7 seconds before they can circle back to C. That does seem to be the plan, though. Or slowly extract themselves. Fighting for rubble might be a dangerous proposition for them, but Narrate is the one with the ghost.
I'll find you.
Perhaps an easier target to knock down. Confirms that there's at least one player still here. Bang's going to have to play off of this fade positioning.
Just ready to send out the paranoia off contact. What? Okay. No way. There's just no way. That shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening.
Now it's going to be on Zekin. A little bit awkward. Outlaw with a ton of targets to find. And Juicy trying to get across with a blast pack. That's two. He'll fall off the line now. Paint shells to follow up.
Out of charges.
Peaks with the classic. He's bought enough space, though, at least for SEN to get the reinforcements in place, and so they do.
Sufa is so far away right now. He's in B, having to go through Baby's door. Spring is going to need to do even more work with his Sheriff. And it feels wrong that the ask is on him to do more in this round.
Sufat is here. Sentinel's now going to make this push up, likely a double swing. John in second here on this line. Celsius with his back to Spring's position.
No!
His head cleaned off. Now two left. Second finally shuts down the rampaging Spring.
I'll find you. Still waiting.
But up Spring comes Summer, and Sufat's about to make it hot and heavy. Backs away, no time. Plays it like an absolute champion that is not around. You have any business winning?
That feels impossible and should be impossible. How is that double setup from SEN towards Rubble dismantled? There's no util for Wolves to get out aside from using the wall to get forward. Sees what a shot! And the crosshair placement from Bang, who throws down the dark cover and throws out the paranoia. There's just no way.
One enemy remaining.
And then after that, Spring, could you actually do some more for us? Could you get another kill?
Come on. Expertly in that moment. The second's got no choice but to run at him.
Wow, look at this. Read on the economy from Spring. Outlaw,
My ult is ready.
5 one-shottable targets. Everyone from SEN on lighter regen.
SEN know they've given that weapon over, though. And they know they need to play around it. 0 peaks off the seaside here.
Wolves do a nice job getting all of the space towards Mound and drawing a bit of attention from Sentinels, even procking the door. Celsius wants to go for some spam in case they are actually trying to get into B main at the moment.
Down to the minute mark in the round. Still nothing drawn out by Sentinels. Nothing really for Spring to look at with this Outlaw.
And this is Sufa just on a solo effort to keep the attention here. He's doing everything. He's throwing prowlers, he's opening the door, he's getting the orb. And there are 3 players mostly drifted towards that area of the map. It's going to be an A re-clear again. Can Bang right the wrongs from that prior round.
Narrate never had to show himself there either. It was awkward, but Narrate last time they were here had only a ghost. This time they're after the teeth. YU is able to draw that sheer wall out, but this fight's definitely happening over towards Rubble. SEN back up on it though. 25 seconds left in the round. Wolves have to make a decision.
Oh, they aren't. They're still too indecisive. They're going back towards Mound now. They're in a 2-1-1 with 15 seconds left. The round is just over.
They've got no duelists. They've got no entry on this site.
They can't even get past the thorns that are there. Now they're trying to get into B. This is mad.
Okay, 7 seconds left and they're going to go for it. Snake bite on the ground. Lysor knows he's going to lose much of his health. And then Zaki with the showstopper brings the house down on Wolves. What a bizarre round. And Wolves bleed the clock a little too much.
The indecision is their enemy there. You have Sufa making that tons of noise over towards C in the mid-round. But Wolves, after losing Juicy on this entry towards A, they just did not want to commit through the dark cover.
This time around, knows that Wolves are obviously less cashed up this time around. See a lot of heads though, and Juicy, man, he is clean with it. His Sheriff claims the first. Celsius is seized here, decayed down. There's a window here. Pops the Razor Vine. They can't quite get purchased on him. And Sufat overextends. Spike loose. Lysor, though, is able to at least to salvage. Zekin's going to be here. Spray down's a bit wayward, and Lysor's gotten in onto the C side now. Zekin's paint shells do not get any value.
Slowly trying to get towards Bend right now. Not comfortable getting the spike down just yet. Narrate has a fair amount of initiator utility to use to get back in, and Bang is on a long flank right now. Will Wolves expect it?
YU checks for it, but can't beat Bang. Paranoia comes in, Lysor and Spring forced to just double up at the bottom of the C site. Bang must have spotted them there with a shoulder peek. Perhaps not, as still eyes are looking towards the bend. There's Spring, just sees a head pop up. That's stunning stuff. Eventually, though, taken down. It's Lysor with less than 50 health to play. Time is of the essence, and SEN are fully cognizant. They'll have themselves their 4th round.
Credit to Bang there, able to win the duel on the flank. That is the highest impact kill in that situation he could possibly find. Then you have the other two players being encircled from multiple different angles.
C.
Look at a brute force
Enemy
solution
remaining.
to trying to get Zelsus out of that corner.
I mean, I'm not mad at them fighting it, it's just that they didn't really fight it together. If they both kind of got out and were spraying, they might have just gotten that kill in clean fashion. But they weren't doubled up. Zelsus getting that one was pivotal as well.
Zekin is 8-1. Night and day comparison to his start of his split game. Running it back on the Rays after all this time.
We really have not been getting much of the Zekin Rays, if at all, this year, but that is his, or was his go-to agent. That's what he was known for, the flex Rays play. Here comes Juicy fast into the side. That's a dodge. The Arc shut down.
Straight into the Razor Vine as well. Zelsus now wants to assume some more control, but he's likely hoped this TP forward by Lysor. He gives up the site. Play for the retake.
In the meantime, YU did actually find a kill with one of the players from SEN on the cross towards B. Bang teleporting over to assist. This lockdown is going to keep the Sentinels team at bay. Should get Wolves a free plant here.
Yeah, look at, I mean, how much of Wolves this covers. Wolves also pinging the one gap in that. Oh, John, that is stunning. Yes, detained, but there's no chance for Wolves to follow up on this. Spam down through the smoke, finds another one. Here's the Nightfall down from the attack side. Wolves want to try and assume as much control of C as they can. They've even committed a Viper's Pit to that effect.
Yeah, this round is must win. They have to send it all. YU spam kill.
Spring in the pit, dancing around.
What?
Narrate finds him before he decays too low. That's a Viper's Pit now gone. YU and Sufat in this corner. Zelsus and Narrate do not have the util to clear them from this. They're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Spray down through the corner. Zelsus exposed himself to Sufat on the tight angle, and Narrate does not have the health to bail Sentinels out. A hard forward, long sword after second round here for Wolves.
They committed all they needed to, must win round, excuse me, and they are able to take that down. Spring just somehow connects a miracle shot on the second player that was swinging through the pit in that final situation. But a good usage of their ultimates, no doubt. YU was crucial on that round too, early. Pretty standard for, you know, that is a pretty common ult execute on this map.
And Lysor is not above a cheeky little TP to the enemy spawn. So turret here for YU to play contact off of a B. Wolves have been waiting for a push out of B main from SEN, but it's never happened. Not so far in this defense side. They've just been leaving Zekin here, of course, with those paint shells to hold it down.
The only real proactivity coming from SEN is just the double up from Merit and Bang to take rubble control. And to be fair, it has kept Spring at bay. He hasn't had opportunities to be able to lurk up off of his wall, which feels very un-Spring-like. I mean, on split, he was taking the fight to them all the time. He was that showstopper.
He's waiting on those.
But he can't do anything.
On the snake bite, couldn't actually cross. Sheer wall did come up, and that's a speculative showstopper that ends up finding nothing. All the util cleared from the C side, though. It looks like Wolves want to double back, Wyatt.
Yeah, they certainly can re-execute off this.
30 seconds
Sufat
left.
does have a haunt to throw, clear out an area like Bend, teleport through to make the cross. They want to scale into the site, which is vacant of SEN players, but they are ready to flood back in off the Steel Garden.
Juicy Vizak and Duelists here fighting for that Hall's control. Second opts to wait just a little bit longer here. That Steel Garden off the back of it. John explodes. Zelsus now playing from Waterfall. Lysor left here on the C side, the last remaining Wolves player. And Zelsus might not be aware. He TP'd out with that ultimate. So now Wolves in a position to play that retake, but Zekin's already got it to half, and Wolves might not be aware of this. The Raid's able to spray them down through the poison orb. Zekin got off of it briefly, but he'll full stick this, and Wolves are none the wiser.
That's just disaster for Wolves. They have to all retreat into Mound after the Steel Garden is used, and the spike just isn't planted for them. The round is just over at that point. Easy, effortless retake for Sentinels.
Spike planted.
That tries to get out.
I mean, what can they do after this situation? Legitimately nothing. It's just over. It is just over for them.
Looked odd, but I think Wolves probably realized there was no reasonable way to get back in, so wagering those remaining rifles seemed less than ideal. Now a bit of a rubble fight. This time SEN actually aren't playing forward. They've got Bang back in tree.
4 rifles right now for Wolves. Spring just on the pistol, though, unfortunately.
Watch the timing of this paranoia, Wyatt. Sees combo with the paint shells, perhaps. Oh, it's Second getting caught out. Now Ray doesn't have much to see here, and Bang's going to watch his left side. No! Oh, my goodness! Sealfat found a quick double.
That is SEN going for a bit of a haphazard attempt at the refight. Just not expecting, I don't think, so many Wolves players to actually be ready with the crosshairs on those angles. This has been the most convincing round win for Wolves so far, unless John is able to go crazy in that 1v4, but he can't. It's shut down by Spring.
And that was a half buy. Wolves, I think, had 2 pistols, maybe even classics in that kind of round. And it was one of the rounds where SEN opted not to play forward on Rubble. They didn't have Bang TPing forward at the start of the round and having Narrate watch that live. They opted instead to try and play off a paranoia, and everything kind of went wrong for them in Second. Found himself isolated.
Yeah, isolated on that orb, and the rest of the players just tried to spill through the fight together, but Sufa hits a nice little snappy adjustment. Too many players from Wolves posted up to deal with. And look at this. Somehow, SEN, their economy is not very good, which feels bizarre, but this is an opportunity for Wolves to get right back in the game, potentially tie things up, break their eco right here.
Bang can't clear the horn with where he is, so he actually at least consider giving up that Rubble position. Look at a B variation, though, this time from Wolves. But some of the spice util is here.
Which has been an absolute nightmare for them. Second 2 rounds in a row has been instantly deleted by Juicy.
Wait a minute. Are they going to go back towards C here? Zekken's departed. Obviously very early in the round. Drusado's been cleaned up. Spring wants to try and get forward here, but this Nightfall could be a bit of an issue for Wolves. Spike is obviously down. Spring trying to play from upper and cleared out instantly. Sufa now gives his position away. Enough noise to wake the dead, and Narrate's going to turn around with the Odin. Look to try and spray him out of the game, and it's just awkward timing for the fade. Wolves here with a great opener. SEN able to convert on a 4v5 after Zekken falls.
Great opener, essentially a free plant. They have the idea, which is the right idea, of when you're getting the spike down on this map, you have to go take more forward space on B, but they just don't do it together. Juicy is too quick to face here. Zelsis gets an isolated 1v1. There's no trade coming through. Spring is trying to get forward, but he's alone, caught before the dark cover drops. Right idea, wrong execution from Wolves, and some frustration on the face of Fade as things are getting a bit out of control on Sentinel's map pick, especially for the defensive side. And when you're talking about these traditional comps, this map was attack favored back when it was in the, in the pool, and this was the meta.
And that's why SEN getting to 6 is a huge deal.
My ult is ready.
Orb taken by Sufet now gets his Nightfall online. Once again, Zekken wants to take an early challenge, but looks like that's been denied. Classic entry over here. Zelsis is 39. Does he think to try and play a one and done in the corner now at this level of health?
Face your fear!
Okay, Boom Bomb going to be thrown in. Dark cover now. Over with the Paranoia, forces John back in the Hall's direction. Juicy deals with Zelsis all too easily. There's a nice little tap from John. Happy to challenge this side take util for a kill.
Yeah, now just fully on the retreat. Posted up to try and ensure the Wolves don't push any further. Lysor, danger for a moment, and it's just getting spammed through by Bang. Disaster as Wolves try to wrap around Ben to get that spike down.
Spring's able to recover the spike, but what opportunity, they're going to have to plant it. He tries to surge ahead, draws Second out of position, might be a high-low swing, but Second tucks. He's not going to give them a free kill here. Wolves are the ones that have to wager something. And Spring, he's got some work to do.
Oh, it's disrespectful from Zekken. It's a little bit whimsical, too, with the double satchel in. Gets himself one orb away from a showstopper with those kills, too, matter of fact. It's just those tracers from Lysor with the Vandal that are spotted out.
And at this point, Zekken just doesn't give them a freebie. Until this point, breaks that crosshair placement. Spring overwhelmed. And that is 7 defense side rounds for Sentinels. There's no way of framing this other than they're at a massive, massive advantage on this map.
Zekken going to pick up that Outlaw for another round in this map on an anti-eco.
Look at Spring.
Where are you?
Took that Odin damage off the rip, and Zekken's able to find an Outlaw pick with finally decided to push up on B, by the way.
Oh, that's gotten him his showstopper. Just in case SEN wanted another advantage to close out this half.
Oh, man. Spring's at 6, by the way. Far too much spam for Wolves to deal with. SEN are holding all the cards. A double swing here. They'll try it, but bang! Almost had the correction. Spring at 6, wants a rifle. He'll have it stripped from his hands momentarily. It's an interesting state-by lineup. Yeah, just the delayed drop. I like that. 8 rounds for Sentinels. Last of the half. Showstopper earned by Zekken. It's looking grim for Wolves fans.
Gotta say, the just existence of the Vice utility on this map has really thrown a wrench in the game plans from Wolves. And it's, I think, highlighted some of the issues that they've had as a team, where it's disconnected them on executes to too great of an extent on multiple site attempts.
Are they shooting back?
All right, Wolves, last chance to get a desperately needed round win on what is typically the favored side on this map.
And this is that more passive A-side variation for Sentinels on defense. Nobody heading up to rubble.
And Zekken has actually picked up the operator towards C. I'm going to assume there's probably a rifle on the ground for him as well to pick up, and he has the showstopper to play with. So he's got 3, actually 4 weapons if he needs to use all of them.
He's Gilgamesh. And that's why he's down at 1,600. Of course you spend up here. And that Vice util that you referenced earlier is definitely going to be an issue at C. Popped here early. So you saw the nanoswarm used by YU. Try and draw it out. Oh man, that is a long shot. He even tanks the Prowler in order to take it. Zekken might likely give up some rooms. Juicy has his own showstopper, so he clears the room at B. This is Wolves tipping their hand.
This will get enough space for Lysol to get the plant down right now safely. Spring on this lurk through A. Narrate is ready. He has eyes on the smoke. Can Spring actually catch a timing right now? He hears them running away. It's going to be time for him to hit the go button.
Juicy will buy more time now. He's gonna force Sentinels back a little longer. Okay, Juicy tapped down a little bit. No, 56! Showstopper goes between his legs apparently. And as Spring tries to get active enough, and Lysol down to 1. Just Lysol left. And it's a disastrous attack side on Lotus for Wolves. Not nearly enough rounds earned here to give them any sense of confidence. They were dictating the pace of the game on Split. This time, though, they were taking orders from Sentinels.
I just don't have that explosivity right now on Lotus that they had when we were back on Split. Sentinels looking elite right now on their own pick.
Zekken tanks that Prowler, knows he has the shot. Juicy clears B with a showstopper, but can't do much else with it.
Narrate, once he got that Odin online, it was so oppressive. Zekken even getting the kill with the off there, was taking advantage of the outlaw on the proper rounds. SEN really doing everything right. Wolves with no answers, couldn't deal with the Vice.
You're of course untouched. And in tree, Lysol is going to be waiting. Wolves may be looking for an opportunity to explode out from here, but they're going to have to make some noise and getting rid of the door. Tree control taken, but now SEN looking towards Baby Door. Supet's able to stop them. What a bouncer! You shall not pass, he says. Still wants to over-push into the spike location. The race having to get a second, but it's on Zelsis. Sheriff in hand. And a heck of a job to do.
Well done from Wolves, just swinging out together there.
30 seconds left.
All of the Sentinel players just kind of clumped up, playing by the orb, trying to get towards Baby Door. The exact start that Wolves needed, unless Zelsis with this Sheriff can go off, but that's just not going to happen. He doesn't have the time. There's simply no way. Wolves getting back into the game here on defense. Let's see if they can try to go on a similar run.
Juicy with the grenade out there. Zelsis hoping for a little bit to be offered up. That's not to be. The swing there from Baby Door for Wolves. Gets them onto the board here in this second half. A drought of rounds. SEN was stitching together 4 at the end of that first half. This play here, nice little double up. Spring pushes out to try and take more. Is punished for it, but the damage is already done.
And then you just have Juicy on the cross from sight. Just a beautiful setup. Simple, highly effective from Wolves. And they're going to fully invest up into this anti-eco round where Zekken is going to do the Juicy cosplay from the first half and go for the Bucky double satchel.
Yeah, perhaps to upper. Maybe with a dark cover to get him in there.
I'm getting deja vu.
Prowler comes out, there's also a wall there. Now over towards the mound side of things for Sentinels. Zekin still has his satchels. Blast packs is caught midway through. It's the Marshal of all things that catches him.
John does actually recover that Bucky. Maybe he can have a better fare with it. YU holding the cross. Here come the swings from Wolves.
Not a lot to write home about in this round. Solid stuff for Wolves. YU just waited off the now, and John says, well, in for a penny, in for a pound, they say. What do I have here?
Well, he gets his. Unfortunately, that is just the Marshal down, but they'll take what they can get with the Bucky investment, which does end up being a little bit awkward into this. Zekin is just going to have to buy up into a Stinger. Well, we've got 2 back-to-back rounds, I will say, for Wolves on defense, where the fundamentals are just looking good. Just playing, swinging out of these smokes together. Taking the fight to SEN as a unit.
Yeah, good defensive util over at B that sort of diverts Sentinels to the C extremity. And now the pleasantries have been exchanged. They mostly buy here for SEN. There's a C's attempt over towards Rubble, but nobody for Sentinels is in attendance. They're pretty quickly heading to C, but there's definitely some util that needs to be cleared out.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, so important to just try to get your orbs over to your raise if you can. Get as many showstoppers as possible when you're on this attack side. SEN want to get into this C site perhaps. There are 3 players ready to go, but the other 2 a bit too far away. Or will actually go to narrate on account of him being the closest to the ultimate at the moment.
So here's where great teams on Lotus attack side can succeed. They've got nothing really out of these early exchanges except some defensive util.
And now look at the difference here for how Wolves are approaching these A re-clears. They do have narrate involved here. They can throw out some of this initiator utility if they want, but at the moment it's just going to be a snake bite for back. Rubble slowly making their way out together as the clock is ticking down to 35 seconds.
Lysol spotted, tagged up on the shoulder peak. Backing away into Baby Door is Juicy. Zelsus now takes this opportunity to get some B control. They can pinch on towards the raise, but Juicy sees an opportunity to come forward with that retake wall thrown up. Now SEN bouncing over towards B, but Juicy's going to be waiting for them. That paint shell doesn't do too much to dissuade him. Paranoia, though, could be a problem for the raise. Juicy on the corner. Can't really see. Bang, and it's haphazard shooting. Effective enough, though, for Sentinels.
Nere was just so patient on that lurk. Bides his time, gets the free kill spring. Jump up from Zeki, gets out of the way to Satchel to win the duel. Now 1-for-1.
YU's only got a sheriff to work with. Silfat has to be careful on this angle. Just a Guardian to play with. Bang re-smokes up, it forces YU to just push out into the great unknown. Sentinels are waiting for it with open arms. Converting that first rifle round here on this attack side.
Nice fast trades from Zelsus to clear things out. Juicy was dangerous for a moment in Baby Door when he finds the perfect timing window to swing out, get the opening pick towards Rubble. But eventually from that position, you can just feel the walls closing in on him. You're just too susceptible to any utility coming through.
Sorry. I got you though. I like that.
Trying to make themselves known on the international stage for the first time. We didn't even think they'd be here.
And once again, this early action, one out by Spring now.
Always happy to just take a 1-versus-1 in Spring.
For all appearances, SEN are highly committed to this siege, and yet that smoke towards Waterfall says they're coming again! YU has the stopping power. Just punishes Zekin mid-flight. All of a sudden, the options are limited for SEN.
And that is just some spray through after the door gets activated. Knows where to put the crosshair. Juicy.
Okay.
Quick on the shot. That should be curtains on the round.
That's a devastating round coming out of Wolves here. At C control, YU basically locking it down himself. Look at the locations of SEN's deaths here. Failed B attempt. YU catching the crossing Zekin. A flawless round here for Wolves.
Money's going to be pretty bad for SEN as well. Should be worth 2 here for Wolves. Look, that's just Spring. So ready for, again, it's just that common Sentinel work position where you try to take a little timing peek. Spring, too fast. Juicy, too fast on that swing as well. They just shoot well in that round. Effort to try and get out towards Rubble. Viper utility up to make the cross. Lysor again here defending. It's been a tough going for him on the map so far. Wolves would love for him to begin to heat up. Maybe he can get some confidence kills on the anti-eco just to get things rolling.
But they're wasting no time in getting this tree set up. And in fairness, Wolves don't have anything set up to stop them. They're going to be allowed into the A site. Pretty ideal start to the round for Sentinels. Now it's a matter of landing the plane as Wolves give the side up for the retake.
Second trying to get this really forward position. Cheeky little angle to play around this dark cover that's thrown down.
A nice little paint shells buys a lot more space. Oh, okay. Second. Oh, he disrespects the snake bite. Brings Abba to deal with him. Little high-low set up now from the defenders as they try and get back in here. Nightfall thrown up by Sen. A big ping though off that horn apparently. Suvet's able to reveal much of the defenders and now Lysor wants to step up, have a crack at it too. It's only down to YU. These Elses. YU so little to work with in terms of teammates. Tara could be deployed, but in the 1 versus 1, he's got a face. Zelsa's down. And it's going to be his rifle burst the classic. All things considered, pretty solid round for Sentinels, but Wolves rack up another.
A lot of damage done. I do like how Sentinels were able to play that. Getting proactive, fighting towards heaven. They back off, absorb a little utility, try to repost, keep fighting. They were not slowing down with their effort to apply pressure to Wolves. Results in a lot of damage done. Now here comes the very crucial buy round for them. They're going up against the Wolves that have multiple high-impact ultimates to play with here.
Lid's definitely kept on their economy to some degree by Sentinels. You're right, we got lockdown. Viper's Pit to play with. Showstopper for Juicy. Bang with that TP across to Rubble now. Sen again thinking about A early.
Wolves really no desire to go for these hard fights towards A. They've been giving it up, letting Lysor just spot for the information late SEN. They're slowing things down. They're cutting noise completely, pressing up towards this site. I mean, Lysor could be in some serious danger.
Turned anti-flash. That door being toggled is more than enough to tempt him off of A.
Yeah, it gets away at just the perfect time. This site is totally open, totally free. That being said, though, Wolves just have fantastic ultimates to play for a retake. Bang, trying to get that kill. Lysor is going to want to play patiently.
Of course, the temptation's going to be here for Sentinels to push off this site wire, but it's a dangerous proposition. A lockdown could be an issue.
He gets that Steel Garden activated here, by the way. This is going to connect onto everyone if he rips it right now.
Yeah, finds the timing for it. Why are you trying to step out of it?
I think they mostly got out of the way there, actually.
Like
yeah, time is dwindling, though. They're going to have to recommit quickly. Great opener from Spring.
Delta's down. There's going to be a push coming from stairs at the moment from Wolves as well, but John tucked in the corner. 1 and 2. And here comes Juicy. Showstopper at the ready, but he can't get in. Finally makes it onto the site. Narrate's going to be dealt with, but YU is out of the game. 3 up for Sen. Bang. TP cancelled.
They all had to get off the site, but the spike is still planted for them, and there's just not enough time for Lysor. He's forced to retreat. Great positional adjustments from Sentinels at the end there. Had the spike planted for them. Steel Garden, sure, it doesn't get the connections, but it just ends up wasting so much time. And that means Wolves waste the showstopper, waste the lockdown, all for naught. Sen on 11. Creeping closer to the map win.
Juicy looked like he got seized as he was trying to come in with that showstopper, but still converted it for a kill. But just the spacing, like you mentioned, that Steel Garden forced. Then the Wolves lost another 5 seconds of time to make that retake happen. And timing's been a bit of an issue for them over the series at really important moments.
Sen bursting out into Rubble with some haste. They've been getting this space on the map for free, and they haven't been getting re-cleared. So they're hoping that's just going to be the case right now, and they can pivot elsewhere.
The push-up, though, towards Mound by Juicy means that he knows this is a bit of a fake. Now Sen are going to drift back in that direction. B main held 3 players at B for Wolves in general, so Sen make a good call here, heading to a pretty lightly held C-side.
My ult's ready.
Second gets the showstopper with a collection of that orb. Is he going to try to send it in? It's Bang teleport on the cross to break the crosshairs.
Awkward for Johnny, tries to crouch, but Juicy's waiting there, finds his second. Elsa steps up, only for 1, it's 3 for Wolves' raise. Now the momentum out of Sen's court. Second can still go for this though.
Oh, that would just be so high risk. Certainly doesn't want to waste it. That being said, though, this is a pivotal round. Maybe if they can get a kill first, bring it into a 2v3, then you can use it. But in a 2 versus 4, you're just not going to want to waste it. But look at the SEN economy.
30 seconds left.
Wolves have been able to keep a lid on it. They've kept them in that danger zone. And with just 20 seconds left, they're going to opt to save these 2 rifles, bring them into the next.
Narrate. Pretty big series for him. I mean, Zekken came on your show and sort of said he had full belief in Narrate to turn up when it mattered. That he just needed that one breakout game to really show what he's capable of. There's a sense that he's still got more to show on this team.
He's been having a quality series here. Yeah, I really don't think he's even reached his peak with Sentinels yet. To me, he does have more to show. He can even kick things into a higher gear.
And that's a Wolves round picked up. Sen do not want to take the gambit with 2 guns left. Great little 3-piece for Juicy here on scene.
This is another situation where you're seeing what Wolves are driving with. That is flooding back in, it's good fundamentals, swinging together, taking the fights together, and they're finding the kills in the Sentinels' transitional moments where they're trying to still scale deeper, get into the site.
Their fears.
All right, Sen, because of those 2 safe guns, they are going to be able to get a near full buy. Celsius does have the Stinger.
Okay, they got Juicy at 8 this time. Looks like Wolves are ready for a bit more of a rubble fight.
Wow, this is Nere trying to draw a lot of attention. Baits out the Nightfall while the rest of Sentinels will be able to get into this B site unless Spring tries to slow them down.
Too slow in a baby door here for Wolves. Spring's able to find one anchored in on the site. Sentinels forced away by their Viper util.
It's just that Molly on the ground that once again isolates Zekken in the site and evens things up. Even this pivot to C slowed down on account of another Molly. But Wolves won't fully be in position to get in just yet. Hoping to spam through. Bang getting on low HP, but the Viper's Pit will just further obscure the view from Waterfall.
Spike passed along to Zelsis by the looks. And now a bit of a nose cut even from Sentinels, but you have to imagine they're staying here because of the Viper's Pit. Zelsis here with an Arc Rose to set up, and this is going to be a tough retake for Wolves at the best of times. They can't even counter pit this, Wyatt.
Spike planted.
Spike is going to be planted, getting through this pit. A nightmare, but at the very least, when Sufa does make his way over, look at the concern right now from Wolves about a flank towards B. They're doubling up for that. Oh, and it's just wasting time. Juicy can't win a crucial duel.
And he can't double up with anyone from Waterfall because of that pit. He's solo in that position.
The round is slipping away. Prowler needs to be used to spot someone out, hoping to get some spam through the pit.
Oh, 1 by 1, White. They set up and they're fed to the wood chipper. I think at this point, Superfat realizes there's no point forcing the issue any further. Lysor caught out, both guns stripped away from Wolves. With an economy still to be able to buy, that is a devastating round to drop to Sen.
1 round away, Sentinels from taking their first match here after struggling at Bangkok, going 0 for 2, sent home early. You could feel the frustration from them, the way they were speaking about that tournament. Zekken speaking about their failures to adapt as a team, to play together in the way that they needed to, and they've bounced back.
Marshall has decided to win the round.
For this final round 2, they're going to have significant ultimates to close things out. Wolves have got their full buy. And they stay in the game. Nightfall ripped immediately onto Lysor. So much pressure towards his way.
Zekken wants to get up here with this showstopper. That's a deep rocket.
Oh, he went with a snipe with that.
No catch though, Steelfat respects it. Things slow down a little bit though. Sen have not left rubble. But they can still pull out. We've seen this before. Bouncing over to another site after some early action here.
Well, Wolves will be more than happy that both ults are gone within the first 20 seconds and did not do a damn thing for Sen. They don't even really have much control of rubble. Juicy is pushed up towards box, has Spring on stairs ready to swing off of him. John is just trying to keep them distracted, keep them on this site.
That's an extra 5 to 8 seconds in which Wolves do think something's happening at A, even if John doesn't have any follow-up. That means it will be YU again that has to anchor this C site alone.
At this point, though, they're not believing it. Spring is getting over to the C site right now, and we'll be able to help YU on account of the delay from the Mollies.
Viper's Pit now drawn out in the C site. It's going to be a tough ask to expect Sen to go there, so we're bouncing back. Time is getting short. 30 seconds left in the round, and the Vanguard appears to be Zelsis at B. Is A back on the menu?
Yeah, it looks like it. This is a very late pivot. They want to actually go into a B split. Threaten an A hit second. Opens
it's
up.
Working. They're going away from the B side, and they got the drop on Juicy. The one pick at A draws the defenders off the B side, and now it's pandemonium from Wolves trying to get back in. Lysol with a double, Decken and bang forward by the wayside. Now Zels is out of the game. John clutching for the series. Spring and Lysol doubled up, spray through smoke is wild, it's wayward, and Spring gets it to half. Now off of it, looking to team up with Lysol here, and John has very little to look at. Somehow finds Spring, and he doubles down! The mastermind plants the flag for Americas here in Toronto.